Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're all well. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make one of these really cute seed bead snowflake Christmas tree decorations. So to make one of these snowflake decorations you're going to need some seed beads size 11 in white and some size 11 seed beads in a second colour. You can do it all in white, but I like to add a contrasting colour and I'm using this rainbow clear. And then some size 6 beads in white or silver. I'm using silver because I didn't have any white. You'll need your beading thread, and I'm using 6-pound fire line, and your needle. So begin by threading your needle with your thread and pick up 6 of your size 6 seed beads and slide those down until there's about 5 or 6 inches left on your thread, and then sew up through the first bead. And then you should have this. And now you're going to pick up one more of your size 6 beads. And you're coming out of this one, you're going to skip over the next two and you're going to go through that third bead, the one that sits right opposite the one you're coming out of. And you want to come out of it the same direction that you're coming out of that one. So pass through it in that direction so that when you pull your string through, it's coming out of it the same direction as the one that you're already coming out of, if that makes sense. So pull that through and it should pop into the middle, like that. Now you're going to pick up one white bead and go straight into the next silver bead in the circle. And then pick up a second white bead and same thing again, just go into the next bead in the circle, the next silver bead. Same again, pick up one white bead, go into the next silver bead in the circle. Same again, pick up one white bead, go straight into the next silver bead in the circle. So you're just putting a white bead in between all of those silver beads in that circle. And you're going to do that all the way around. Okay, so here I'm just adding the last white bead of that round, so I'm going through the silver bead and I'm also going through the next white bead as well. So I'm exiting out of one of those white beads that we just added, doesn't matter which one. So when you're exiting out of one of those white beads, now you're going to pick up 3 more white beads and you can go straight into the next white one in the circle, like that. Pull that through, it should look like this. And then you're going to pick up 3 more white beads. Now we're coming out of this one, you're going to go into the next white one in the circle. Same again, pick up 3 more and go into the next white bead in the circle. Again, pick up 3 more beads and go into that next white bead in the circle. And again, you're going to do that all the way around. Okay, so I'm just adding that last group of 3, so do the same again as always. Go into that next white bead in the circle, like that. Now we need to move up through the next 2 beads. So now we're on one of those top point beads that we just added in those groups of 3. You're going to pick up 3 more white beads and you're going to go back into that bead that you're coming out of on the opposite side to make a loop. And when you pull it through, that's our first right angle weave unit. So now we need to move our thread along. So we're coming out of the bottom bead of that right angle unit. We're going to go through the bead right next to it. And now we're going to fill that little gap, so we're going to pick up 1 bead, 1 white bead, and this is the one we're coming out of. This is the one we're coming out of. We're going to skip the one underneath, go through the next one, and that bead's going to pop into that gap in the middle. Now we need to move our needle through that next bead, so we're coming out of the point, the top point of that next little group we added. And then you're going to pick up another 3 beads and go back into that bead on the other side to create a loop. And that's going to be our second little right angle weave unit. So those groups of 4 are called right angle weave units. And then you're going to pass through that next bead again. So we're ready to add our next bead. So you're going to pick up one more bead, skip the one underneath and go through the next one. And if you can, at the same time, go through the one after that as well. Just saves you having to move your thread twice. There we go. So we're ready to add another group of 3. So pick up your 3 beads. You're coming out of this one on the top of that little point. You're going to circle back through it on the opposite side. And there's our next right angle weave unit. So as always, now you need to move your needle through the following bead right next to the one that you're coming out of. So then you're going to pick up your next single bead again and skip the one underneath and go through the next one and the one on top of it as well if you can at the same time. So you're coming out of that bead at the top of that next group, and then you're going to pick up your next 3 beads and circle through that bead that you're coming out of and through the next one if you can, and that just cuts out the step of having to move your thread again. So now you should be in the right position to add your next single bead the same way as always, and pass through those 2 beads so that you're ready to add your next right angle weave unit. And you've got to keep doing that all the way around, repeating those steps, so you add your right angle weave units and filling in those gaps in between. So pick up your next 3 beads and then go through those next 2 beads like that. And then pick up your single bead and you're going to fill that gap, so you're going to go through that one there and the one after it, so you're ready to add your next group. So I think this is the last 3, so pick up your last 3 and go back through that one you're coming out of and the one below it, and then you'll be ready to add the very last single bead of this row. So same as always, you're coming out of this bead, remove that, you're coming out of this bead here, you're going to skip over that one underneath and go through the next one, just like we've been doing all the way around. Pull it through and you've got this, and this would be perfectly fine if you wanted to make it into earrings at this stage, but I'm going to show you what to do next if you want to make it a little bit bigger. Now we're going to move our thread through this bead on the bottom of that right angle weave unit, and then also up through the bead on the side of that right angle weave unit. And through the one on the top. Then I'm going to pick up 3 more beads, white beads, and go into that bead that I'm coming out of on the other side to make a circle. So we're stacking a second right angle weave unit on top of the one below, like that. Now I'm going to move down through that side bead on the bottom unit. Now I'm going to swap to my second colour, which is the clear beads. So I'm coming out of this one, I'm going to go through that one that's sticking up in the middle, you know, those ones that we filled in with in the row below. Pull that down, and then I'm going to pick up another clear one, and I'm going to go up through the side bead in the next right angle weave unit. So that side bead on the next right angle weave unit, you're going to go up through that. So you've got this. Now you're going to move your needle through that top bead, that next one, and pick up 3 more white beads and circle back into that bead that you're coming out of. That's going to create another little unit of 4. So now you need to move your needle down through the side bead of that right angle weave unit at the bottom. Pick up 1 clear bead, pass through that next bead that's sticking up in the middle there. And then you're going to pick up a 2nd clear bead, and you're going to go up through this bead here, which is on the side of that next right angle weave unit. Like that. And then you're going to move your needle along through that bead on the top so that you can carry on adding more beads. So now you need to add 3 more beads into a circle to create that next little unit, and then move down through the next bead, which is this one on the side. Then you're going to pick up 1 clear bead. Coming out of that one, you're going to go through the next one, which is sticking up there in the middle. Pick up another clear bead and go up into the next right angle weave unit through the one that's on the side. Go up through that bead. And then move your needle across so you're coming out of that top bead. And you can carry on doing this all the way around until you've got adding 3 beads and then filling in the gaps with the clear beads until you've got all 6 points finished. And then I'll show you what to do next. So once you've got all of those finished, then it should look like this. And again, you could stop at this point. I'm going to show you what to do next. So you want to be exiting out of one of these side beads, coming out the top of one of these side beads on one of the bottom right angle weave units. And then you're going to pick up 5 beads alternating between clear and white, starting with clear. So like that. So you're coming out the side bead of this bottom right angle weave unit here. You're going to circle over to the next one, next right angle weave unit at the bottom, not the top one, the bottom one, and go down through that side bead in that unit, just like that. So you're coming out of the side one on this bottom unit here, and you're going to go down through the side one on the next unit, and it's going to make that really nice little loop of beads. Now we need to reposition our thread, so we're coming out this one, we're going to go through that one on the bottom of that little unit and up through the side bead. Then we'll be ready to add the next loop. So make sure you're exiting out of that side bead on the bottom right angle weave unit, and then pick up your next 5 beads following the same pattern, alternating clear and white. And then you're going to go down through the side bead of the next bottom right angle weave unit. Pull it through, and this is what you've got. So again, repositioning your thread, so move through the bottom bead in that unit and up through the side bead. Then pick up your 5 beads, alternating your colours again. So you're coming out this side bead here in the bottom, and you're going to go through the side bead in the next bottom right angle weave unit, like that. and then reposition your thread, so go through the bottom bead and up through the next side bead. And then you're going to carry on doing that, picking up 5 beads every time, alternating between clear and white, and going down through those side beads on those right angle weave units that are at the bottom. So do that all the way around. So once we've added all those little circles, then we've got this. Now we're going to move our thread again. So we're coming out the side bead of that little unit. We're going to go through the bottom bead and up through the side bead on the other side, like we have been doing all along. So now you're here. Now you're going to move up into that little loop we just added, and you're going to go through the clear bead and the first white bead in that loop, just like that. Now we're going to be adding some extra little points onto the snowflake, so you're going to pick up 3 white beads and go straight into the next white bead in that little loop. So we have this. Now we need to move our thread around to the next position. So you're going to go through the next bead, which is the clear bead, then you're going to go straight across through that white bead that sits in the middle of those 2 right angle weave units, and then into the next loop through the clear and white bead, like that. So you're going through those next 4 beads straight across into that next loop that we added in the row below. So now you're in the same position we were before, and we're going to pick up 3 beads again and make our second little point. So go ahead and pick up your next 3 white beads, and you can go straight down through that next white bead, and then through the clear bead, straight through that white bead in between those groups of 4s, and through the next clear and the next white bead in the following loop. And then pick up your next 3 and do the same again. So go through the next white bead, the next clear bead, the next white bead, the next clear bead, and the next white bead. And you need to do that all the way around until you've got your 6 points finished. Once you've done that, we need to move our thread. So I'm coming out at the bottom of one of those little groups of 3 that I just added. And I'm going to move my needle across through a clear bead, a white bead and a clear bead to be exiting out of one of these clear beads here that you can see. One of the clear beads that's at the bottom of those little groups of 3 we just added. Like that. And this next bit is kind of optional, it is finished at this point, but what we're going to do is just make the points stand out a bit better. So if you want to stop now, you can, but if you want to make the points stand out, then you need to go up through the 2 white beads. Now ignoring that that next bead on the top, you're going to go back down through the 2 white beads on the other side. When you pull it, it will just pop into place and it will just make a neater, sharper point. So you'll notice the difference when you've done them all. You need to keep count of how many you've done. That's your first one. And then you're going to move your needle across so you're ready to do the next one. So obviously you've got those right angle weave units in between, so you don't need to do anything with them. They already stand out. So move along till you're at your next little loop, and then skip over that one on the top and go down through the next 2 white beads to make it into a neater point like that. And you can do that all the way around until you've done all 6 of them. And just travel along, doesn't matter how you get to each point, just travel through the beads in paths that you've already followed, and then we'll be finished. So once you've done that, you'll probably be able to see it just makes it look a bit neater, it makes the points sharper. And sorry if it was a bit confusing at the end there, it is when there's so many white beads all the same colour, it gets a bit hard to show what I'm trying to say. But hopefully you followed along and you got to this point. And what I'm going to do now is just tie off both my threads, and then I just attach a little string so that I can hang it on the Christmas tree. So tie off your threads, and then this is what it looks like finished. And I hope you enjoyed this video, found it helpful, and you're able to make one of these. And I think if you did it in different colour combinations, maybe did these last points in a different colour, then the snowflake shape in the middle would really stand out. I'd love to see what you try. Share them with me on Instagram at Beading by Hannah and follow me there. Comment down below here what else you'd like to see, and like this video and subscribe to see more of my videos if you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Bye.